Hey friends, how we doing today? This is Andy coming to you again from here at Andy's World of Bass. Today is a very sad day because of the passing of the great ROCCO PRESTIA, bassist with founding member of Tower of Power and one of the most iconic bassists of all time, one of the greatest, and he was great for a lot of reasons. And I thought I'd just make a little tribute video to him because he influenced me big time, and inspired and influenced. Inspired with his playing and influenced with his personality. I first became hip to him in around 1985 when one of my friends, a bass player that was older than me in the neighborhood, I think it was, I'm pretty sure it was a guy named Stan Rawls, lent me one of them Starlicks VHS tapes and said, "You need to check this guy out." At the time I was playing a bunch of like metal, and Maiden was my favorite band and everything, and my right hand was coming together pretty good already at that time for being a teenager. But when I heard ROCCO, it was just like, it was like the perfect transition from galloping Steve Harris metal to staccato funky 16th notes, and it just, the guy who lent me the tape, he was so on the money, because it was just like opening the door into the next realm for me. And I watched that. I had to return the VHS tape, but I kept it for about a month and watched it a bunch of times. I didn't necessarily copy his style. I just had the tape long enough to be inspired by it, and to take some things from it, to kind of visualize the sound and get a visual indication of what was going on. And then I just kind of remembered that, and I tried to pull that out of the instrument my own way over the years. So the thing about ROCCO that I was able to figure out some kind of way, my own way, to create a reasonable facsimile, is that he mutes with his left hand. So I started, trying to get the notes to be short and get that percussive ghost note in there. I realized that I don't just use the tips of my fingers, like in a proper. Seldom play like that. I kind of lay my fingers across all four strings, and I'll be using from the tip of my finger all the way to this second knuckle to either mute, glissando, or even play pitches. And what that does is that keeps everything muted and keeps everything full and chubby. And that was the thing about ROCCO that, was so cool, is that he had these deep, pulsing, fast, and funky grooves that they didn't sound like, they didn't sound like pink, 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 pink. They all sounded real chubby and full and round. And so he could be very busy, and it never sacrificed the bottom end. And I think that was kind of part of the secret to the functionality, the charm, and the hipness of what he did. Is it always sounded like a bass. It never sounded all panky and high-endy. Even when he was playing high, the highest note that he ever would play on the bass, even that higher pitch still had a full round sound. And it's also, has to do with the way the right hand touch. Everybody's different, everybody does that differently, but he certainly had an amazing right hand. so what I learned throughout that whole process of muting and kind of choking back the notes from ringing, and while simultaneously keeping them all sounding fat and chubby, was that when you let a note come through and you get away from the string, and then you can have the tone, you know, turned up, but you have plenty of high end that's there when you want it, so you can kind of sprinkle the high end in. So certain notes you can let ring, and you can let some of that high end chime shine through a little bit, but for the most part, I'm kind of trying to keep it all contained and keep every pitch that I play, the duration where I want it, meaning how long it rings for, and trying to keep each note boom, 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 boom. You know, everything I'm thinking is I'm envisioning tuba. You know. So I hope you get where I'm coming from. I'm not trying to do a ROCCO PRESTIA imitation. I can't do that. I could just tell you that he inspired me. And, you know, he also influenced me in the fact that when I met him, he was very kind to me. He was very friendly. And in just the first, you know, 30 seconds of our first conversation, when you meet someone that's like a legend and a hero, that first 30 seconds, it can be kind of awkward. He helped me to make it not awkward. And then, you know, I asked him a question, and then he asked me a question. You know, he didn't just, you know, kind of stand there and let that be good. He wanted to know about me, and genuinely, and it was just like, you know, this sigh of like, wow, he's really cool. You know, he's really a cool guy. And then we had a nice interchange, a nice conversation, just one-on-one, that lasted about 15 minutes. And I feel blessed to have had that time, and that he was so kind to me and so genuinely friendly. And you know, we were within a couple minutes, we were joking about this and that and the other thing. And God, he was a really cool guy. And you know, so that influenced me. You know, that's like a direct influence. That kind of personality, that kind of kindness, is influential. I think you get the inspiration from the music and from the contributions that he made, which are enormous. But you get influence from someone that you had direct contact with, and I feel grateful that, you know, my long appreciation for him, and somewhat my style being partially derived as inspired by him, and then meeting him and then being influenced by him, I felt like that was like a full circle blessing of mass proportions in my life as a bass player. So that's what I got there. This is my little tribute to the best tribute I could do to ROCCO, and I hope you enjoyed it. Maybe you get something from that that left hand muting and trying to keep a big, full, chubby sound.